the inflammasome activations. And we try to understand the more action of the creosol-mediated NOX3 inflammasome inhibition. So we test the creosol on the reactive oxygen species production in response to the LPS stimulation, because the ROS is an important regulator of NOX3 and ProR1 beta protein expression. So based on this data, we found the LPS treatment can induce a lot of ROS production, and the creosol can significantly reduce the ROS production in LPS active macrophage. And we also found that the creosol can also reduce ATP mediated ROS production, because ATP mediated ROS production is an important signal in the activation signal of NOX3 inflammasome. It controls the KAT1 activation. So then we found the creosol has anti-inflammatory activity by reducing the ROS production. Finally, we investigate the anti-inflammatory activity of creosol in a mice model. So we found the oral administration of the creosol and followed by the LPS injection into the mice, and we measure the cytokine level in the mice serum, and we found in the serum the IL-1 beta, IL-6, and the TNF-alpha level is reduced by the creosol. So and the creosol also reduce the NLRP3 and the COX-2, all is inflammatory protein expression level in the liver. We collect the liver tissue and measure the NLRP3 and COX-2 expression, and we found that the creosol can reduce these two kind of protein expression in the liver tissues. So in conclusion, we found the bamboo vinegar isolate from the bamboo cargo production, and we found one pure compound creosol in the bamboo vinegar. It can reduce the cytokine production, including the IL-6 nitric oxide, and also reduce the NLRP3, ProR1 beta, and reduce the NLRP3 inflammasome activation. And in the mechanism study, we found the reduce the ROS production and the PKC phosphorylation is the major pathway how the bamboo vinegar inhibit the inflammation response. So finally, in the future work, we would like to test the bamboo vinegar or the bamboo vinegar pure compound using the different disease-specific inflammatory model. In my lab, we established several disease-specific cell models to mimic the disease-induced inflammation. For example, we can use the fatty acid to induce inflammation in mimic the diabetes condition. And we also can use cholesterol crystal to mimic the atherosclerosis, and also the uric crystal to mimic the gouty inflammation. So we can use this cell model to investigate whether the bamboo vinegar can be used to prevent or to treat this specific disease condition. And after the cell model, we also can use the corresponding mice disease model to test the bamboo vinegar in the mice disease model. So we can use a renal disease model, and we have some metabolic disease model. We also have some inflammation model, for example, the sepsis model or the inflammatory bowel disease model. So in the future, we want to continue my study about the bamboo vinegar to identify the mechanism or identify the compound can be used to prevent the inflammation. Okay, there's some of my preliminary data about the bamboo vinegar. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the Dr. Hua. And I thank you for you to open the secret for the bamboo vinegars, because we all know the bamboo vinegar is really good for the biotech. But
yeah.
I think from your presentations, we really find out how it works. And I can see the future is a lot of the good opportunities for the industries who using bamboo vinegars, try to make different type of medicines for different disease. So this will be the one of the first time for our Bamboo Tech Forum. We try to really going to see how the bamboo vinegar work. And I'm glad you can show some of the scientific evidence to see bamboo vinegar is really useful. And just one quick questions. Your VV4, how is the temperature for the VV4?
Yeah, it's around 145 to 150 degrees. Yeah, it's a higher temperature.
So higher temperatures vinegar will much better than in use in the medical industry.
Based on data, it's a little bit potent higher temperature. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the speech.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Next one, I would like to pass to the Mr. Kamash. Kamash.
Okay.
You are mute.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for your nice presentation on bamboo vinegar. As Dr. Jack says, it has opened up more avenues to do research and to see the actual application of bamboo vinegar for commercial utilization. Now I'd like to invite Santi. Santi Percy is from California, from Florida. She is a bamboo nutritional specialist and owner at Bamboo Tea Leaf. She has been working on bamboo for more than from 2010 onwards, and she has worked with over more than 50 varieties of bamboo constantly, and also exploring new items. Our products are very innovative, from bamboo tea to bamboo cosmetics and many other products. Without wasting much time, because she is almost more than very late at night now, and very thankful for her to be with us, I would like to invite Santi to give her presentation. Santi, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to turn on my share here. Will this go away when I turn mine on? Let's see. Can you see my slide?
No, not yet.
I don't think I hit share.
Dr. Kuo, you have to put off your share. Your share is coming still.
Is that showing?
Not yet. I think the earlier presentation is there.
Okay, it shows it on my end. Kevin? Is it because this one is still up?
Yeah, it's still up there.
Yes. So.
Because we did it before.
Yes.
Can you help me do it?
Kevin.
I'm doing the same thing that he had me do before.
Okay, just hold on a second. Yeah, just wait.
Hit till it goes down. Thank you, Kamesh Jack, for all of your hard work on doing this. And Kevin, I mean, I know this, it takes a whole team. And I love hearing about how bamboo is connecting Taiwan and India. And I don't know if most of you know, or probably wouldn't guess, that I actually am Indian. I was born in Calcutta, so my heart is definitely Indian, and my first 2 years I spent there. So I have a very strong connection, and I'm so honored to be a part of this forum and really look at, you know, solutions and possibilities for the future that is, you know, what bamboo is all about. And I think it's so amazing that bamboo is you know, it connects people, right? It's we're all connected through this plant, which is just an amazing thing to think about. But it's how we know each other, and it's what we're fascinated by, and we all have our own bamboo story of how we got started in this. Mine goes back 30 years, actually 1995. So long time. What do we think we're going to do with this? Should I just go on without the slides? Hi, Jack. Is it possible to take these down?
Oh, you should be share your content. Try again. Let's do a technical down.
You see it?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Maybe we'll just go on without. I'm not sure. If I hit present, that's what we did, present on another screen?
Yeah,
No.
I think you just wait a second. The technician will be solved the problem very soon.
Because that's how we did it before, and then it just showed up. But now it's not showing up. I'm not sure.
Dr. Kuo Fanghua, please press the button screen of stop sharing the screen so we can pass the speaker role to the next speaker.
Got it. That could be, huh? Oh, because I have to do this. And then...
Yes, Dr. Kuo Fanghua, are you here?
Is that showing up now?
You better let him down and then...
Can anybody see that? No?
Not yet.
No, okay. We did before, Kevin, we had, so you stopped sharing, so I'm sharing, and then screen.
Yeah, it's about to come.
And then.
Yeah, it comes. It comes.
Better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah,
we succeeded.
Great, everybody. So sorry, I'm a little challenged by time. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about my favorite subject, which is, well, first of all, is bamboo, and second of all is bamboo and its use in medicine. And I want to really emphasize that there's a couple different pathways here. The one that I really hold dear to my heart is the pathway along which I think this forum is mainly talking about, which is the ability to share this with many. And when I say many, I mean the bamboo is a social equalizer. And I mean that in a way that because it is accessible to so many people and because it is so abundant, it should be used in that way to benefit the many instead of like the other grasses, which have been kind of used to benefit few and not always benefit the many. And I think we have an opportunity and a responsibility to do differently with bamboo than we've done maybe with some of the other crops available. And so I really want to emphasize that when we're talking about this, because there's so many applications that bamboo can be used for. And I think one of the things that really speaks to a lot of people is that it's such a functional plant for so many different reasons. I mean, it's a food, it's a medicine, it's construction, it's so many different things, and it's beautiful. You know, I mean, here in the United States, we're still primarily stuck on using it ornamentally. So there's so many aspects to this plant, and I really want to see this information shared globally so that people can access it in their own way, for their own family, in their own benefit. And it has the potential to do that without costing anybody any money. And health should be available to everybody. It's not something that should only be available to the rich and famous. It should be available to every person. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. And, you know, it's such an amazing plant. I started by using, you know, really getting interested in the leaves because they just really called to me. I actually started out as a landscape designer specializing in bamboo and ornamental grasses. And then I really became interested in using it as a food when I worked worked for Walt Disney Imagineering, and we had a large forage program which really introduced me to using bamboo for animals and for food. And, you know, I mean, the leaves are an amazing food source, which has now spread to almost every single zoo in the world. Almost every animal in a zoo will have bamboo in their forage program because it's a high mineral content and it's so good for them. And a lot of zoos have put in forage programs where they plant the bamboo because there's so many bamboos that can grow in so many different regions, from negative 25 degrees to, you know, over 100 degrees, 120 degrees. So it's an amazing resource in that manner. And so when we talk about medicinal values of bamboo, it's for people, it's for animals, and it's for plants. And then it's also for the soil. We can't forget the soil. When we're talking about using a plant as a medicine, we always have to talk about that in conjunction as to how the plant is being grown. Because if the plant is stressed out, that's not going to give you the best medicine. You want a happy plant that has lots of nutrients and lots of minerals and all of that nutrition available to it, so, and not in a toxic environment. Bamboo uptakes a lot of nutrients, and it can also uptake a lot of toxins. It can embed them in its waxy coatings of its leaves. It can take that in through the culms. It can take it in through the leaves. It can take it in through rainwater. So on the one hand, that's great if you are doing some remediation of areas. But on the other hand, if you're growing that for medicine, you really want to have an awareness of where that bamboo is being grown and how it's being grown. And when we talk about bamboo, this is so important because there's not just one bamboo. There are many bamboos, and they all are different. You know, there are a lot of different properties in each one, and they vary from plant to plant. And we are so far from knowing, you know, the medicinal values and the nutritional values of each and every plant, and then all the pieces and parts of them. You know, it's a huge undertaking to understand all of that, and what makes it like exciting because there's no end to the amount of information. I mean, just learning, you know, I love bamboo vinegar, and you know, I just think it's so fascinating to learn all the different extraction processes of the different parts, because how you extract the bamboo is very important, and a lot of it is dependent upon what you are trying to extract it for and what part you are extracting. So if you're using like the culm or the culm sheaths or the leaves or the roots, or, to date, I've used all the different parts of bamboo. I've used the inner nodes, I've used the stems, the branches, the exterior portion of the bamboo. Every single piece of it can be used for medicine. So when we talk just in basic about extractions, there's water-soluble elements and there's fat-soluble elements. And then there's a range of elements that kind of fall into different categories too. But when we talk about this, it's really important to know what you're trying to extract, because bamboo is very fibrous. Even the leaves are fibrous. The tea even has fiber in it. So it's a super fibrous plant, and therefore we can't access the nutrients without breaking it down in some way. So in the water soluble, just to give you a little bit of an idea, we've got all the B vitamins in there, and they're doing a whole range of things. One of them that's become pretty interesting to me recently is pyridoxine. And it's just a really great example of when I think about extractions from bamboos. The pharmaceutical companies think about extractions and they think about, I want to take silica out of the bamboo and just insert it into something else as pure silica. I think of it in a different way. I think of it as like, how can I get all of the components of bamboo in a bioavailable format so that I can almost put it back into its whole again, but in a way that I can actually access it, because I can't access it by just chewing on it or, eating it raw like that. That's not going to work for me. It will work for animals, for a lot of animals, but it doesn't work for humans. And so what's a really great example is with B6, right? So one of the things that B6 does is that it helps reduce levels of homocysteine, and homocysteine is a marker for cardiovascular issues. So elevated homocysteine usually indicates that there's some cardiovascular problems. And here's the thing, is that you have B6 in the water soluble, and then you have silica, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But one of the things that silica is good for is strengthening muscles. And what is the heart? It's a muscle. So it's giving flexibility to the capillaries. So here's something where like two of the components are coming together to work really well from completely different angles. And it goes on like that. So what I always try and think about is that these things start working together and layering upon each other. And what I really want to do is try and get as many of those things back into a format that is usable to me. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with the water soluble is to make tea. And it's super easy and it's accessible to everybody. And you get a lot of benefits just from doing that. Minerals. So bamboo is remineralization. Bamboo has the ability to uptake 100% of the nutrients that are available to it. And it does this because, or it's able to do this because it forms massive relationships. We are forming relationships because of bamboo, which is amazing. Bamboo is also amazing at forming relationships in the soil, and it's forming them with its fungal and bacterial partnerships. And it does this really, really well. It's an amazing photosynthesizer, and so it has a lot to trade with these because the photosynthesis is allowing it to make a lot of sugars, and it trades those sugars through these fungal and bacterial partnerships and then trades them to get these high mineral contents. I mean, bamboo could just be used for remineralization, and we all know that one of the biggest problems is our soil degradation, is that we are having issues with our food quality, which is leading to health problems. And so using bamboo for remineralization of ourselves, of our animals, of our livestock, and then of the soil itself and other plants that we are growing is just amazing. And of course, the biggest one that, I mean, they're all really, really important. And the one that has become kind of the calling card of bamboo is silica. This is a picture of bamboo powder, and then this is how I ground it up before I made the powder. What's amazing to me is that when I can do these different extracts or make these different parts and use these different pieces and parts of bamboo, is that you can get such a wide variety of flavors and nutritional content. It is absolutely amazing. I've got teas on one hand that are like kind of like the flavor of a cut grass, and then on the other hand, on the other end of the spectrum, the bamboo shoot powder, which tastes kind of like the best organic grain you've ever had, sweet and just kind of oaty type. It's got a really just amazing grain flavor. So it's really fun to like work with all the different pieces and parts and see what can be made from them, because it's endless possibilities. And these are bamboo shoots over here, and then culm sheaths over here. I like to use the culm sheaths of the dendrocalamus, different species in the dendrocalamus, because they have such outrageous colors, and it's really fun. Those colors are indicative of powerful antioxidants. So there's a lot of reds and blacks and blues and all these phenomenal colors that come through, and especially in the dendrocalamuses and the bigger tropicals, and in some others too, but I find those a lot. And so I've started using the culm sheaths, which basically nobody uses anything with those. And I make tea from those, and it's really, really delicious, completely different than from the leaves, because it's definitely got more of a flavor along like the stems and the branches, kind of more of like an oat straw flavor. So, which is kind of like a light brown color and a real earthy type of flavor to it. But I mean, even in the shoots over here, this is a black asper. It's outrageous to see those colors come through. It's really beautiful. One of my favorite ways to make extractions is through something fairly simple, which is a steam distillation. Think of like essential oils, except that not all plants have a lot of essential oils, but all plants can be made into hydrosols. And hydrosols are one of my favorite extractions because they do that good job of putting water-soluble and fat-soluble elements back into a package that is then able to be delivered and more bioavailable. And so hydrosols can be used internally. They're safe for all ages, and bamboo hydrosol has amazing properties. It's basically liquid food for your skin, your hair, and like I said, you can take it internally as well. Your skin just completely soaks it up. It'll heal sunburn overnight. It'll heal eczema, any kind of irritated skin conditions, things like that. You can use it on pets. You can use it on old people. You can use it on everybody. So it's a very safe format. And what I like is that it is, again, a really kind of almost putting bamboo back into a whole format that is accessible. And then the other thing that you can make with a steam distillation is you can make alcohol. So you can make bamboo alcohols, like a bamboo vodka or things like that, through distillation as well. Any of the parts of bamboo can be used for that. And this is the tea that I first started with when I first started making tea, which was from the leaves, and it's still one of my favorites. It's got little pieces of stems in there. I do now separate out the stems and make that a separate thing. Oftentimes stems have more nutrients than leaves, actually. And I also use like the old and the new leaves together because you get different nutritional content in them. If I take 50 different bamboos, I will get 50 different colors and flavors of tea. It's that varied. Everything from a dark brown to a light yellow. And to date, I've probably made from maybe like about 75 different types of bamboo. So it's something that's very easy and, like I said, accessible to everybody. And it has amazing benefits. So there's actual fiber because of the silica content. There's actual fiber in the tea, which gives you all the digestive healing properties. And then the real calling card is that a lot of people are using in the United States in the cosmetic industry, and especially for hair growth, because it makes people's hair grow. This is the calm sheath again as a tea. It's fun, little curly cues. And these are the roots. So bamboo has two different types of roots. It's got structural roots that mimic the size of the culm. And then it's got these mat roots, right? And these mat roots are what kind of anchor it to the ground. It's, I liken the bamboo roots to like building in Miami, where you have to build this huge, platform that goes out over a long area, as opposed to building in New York where you get like a pine tree that goes down. Everything's within the top 1.5 to 2 feet at maximum is where all the root system is. And yet these things, I have plenty of hurricanes here, and they, a lot of them do really, really well. Some of them have a little bit weaker root system, but especially these ones with the massive mat roots really do well. And I like to use these. I like to make hydrosol from them, and they have just a wonderful earthy flavor to them. Make tea from them. Can't go too far without talking about charcoal and biochar, because charcoal made from bamboo is just an amazing medicine. And I don't think there's enough time in the whole forum to talk about all the things that it's good for, because it's one of the things that I tell people, just have one everywhere. Just carry charcoal wherever you go, because you can use it for any kind of food poisoning, or any kind of sensitivity to any food you've eaten. You can use it for a bug bite externally. You can take it for any kind of, when you start to feel sick in any sort of way, whether it's upper respiratory to any kind of digestion, you can take it for that. You can take it for detoxing. It's one of the few things that will adhere to heavy metals and actually remove them from your body. And that's especially important with aluminum, which is really hard to get rid of and affects the brain. And so using charcoal on a regular basis is really important. And it's cheap. It's another thing. You could make it at your house if you needed to. My dog almost died, and I saved her by giving her charcoal. She got bit by something poisonous, we're not even quite sure what, and just gave her little bits of charcoal, and she got better. So, and then biochar, which is medicine for the soil, right? Biochar is an amazing resource, and it's putting carbon back into the soil and making basically hotels for the underground networks of bacteria and fungi to live in, and giving them protection, and encouraging that. And it's also allowing plants to grow better. But sequestering that carbon and putting it back in, even just that alone is an amazing benefit that bamboo has, because it has so much biomass. There's over 9,000 flavonoids in bamboo, and these are the antiviral, anti-tumor, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-ulcerogenic. And mostly these things are best extracted through ethanol. Some of them can do through a CO2 process. And with the ethanol, there's two different ways that I like to extract. One is just a very slow long-term extraction with ethanol, where it just, you put it in there and let it sit and do its thing for a very long period of time, 6 months to a year, because it really takes a long time, again, to break down these fibers in the bamboo in order to make these nutrients bioavailable. And the other one that I've been recently playing with is the cryo extraction of ethanol, which is a different way to do it. And that's really focusing more on some of the terpenes that might be available. We're still testing on that, so we're going to see. Again, this is the fungal networks that bamboo is able to create, these fungal and bacterial partnerships, is what allows it to be so medicinal. And without that, I mean, it doesn't have it, but it can uptake so many minerals and so many nutrients and make them available back to us again. It's just an amazing process. And it's doing that through a lot of different things, including like all this leaf litter that is raining down and creating tons of biomass that's feeding back into the soil. Oftentimes, we talk about bamboo as being kind of a standalone plant, but it really works in community with other plants and the whole network of the forest system. It's giving, and we know that some plants, when they are really good photosynthesizers, actually give back to other plants around them without receiving anything in return. And it's from watching bamboo and how things grow with it, I definitely see that happening. I've been living on my farm with bamboo for about 25 years, and it's amazing to watch the partnerships that happen naturally over that period of time. This is a picture of my place. And so, with animals are really important to think about when we're talking about the utilization of leftover pieces of bamboo, especially the leaves. When we're talking about construction, we're always talking about poles, but then there's all the leaf material left over. And it is an amazing forage, 13% protein, so it's not a high protein content. It's kind of in the middle to middle range, which is actually excellent for a lot of animals, because when we give them these high protein content meals, they eat too much too quickly. They get a lot of colic and things like that. They're actually supposed to eat lower protein and not gain weight as fast by nature. We're just trying to accelerate those processes. So it's an excellent forage and something that people can plant, because feeding animals is very expensive. And bamboo creates a lot of biomass that can feed a lot of different animals. And it's also habitat, right? So as a medicine, it's medicine for the habitat and the ecosystems. And there's a lot of animals that are dependent, animals and insects. And, I noticed over the 25 years that I've been on my farm, just the diversity of insects. And it's so important to protect our insect population. We really need them for the future of the planet. Without them, we won't exist for long. And so just the amount of habitat that bamboo provides, while also allowing us to use it for these functional purposes, is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
and
hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Bimo, can you talk with me? Huh? Okay. Hey, I just continue our previous program, because you told that you want to expand some collaboration in the field of the bioplastics and the biohydrogen, right? Yes. So,
Shanti, please carry on.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. And so finally, I want to talk about medicine in relation to plants, like using plant tea and in relation to what it does for plants. And what's amazing is that plants have kind of similar reactions that people and animals do, is that when you feed them the bamboo tea, what it does is it strengthens the plant. It gives it strength and flexibility, and it makes it a more resilient plant. This is especially true on baby plants. It helps them to become like more resistant to disease or getting attacked by funguses from when they're little, but even when they get bigger. And so that silica is literally creating a stronger exterior of the plant so that insects can't physically penetrate, that other diseases don't get access to it. And so it's just making it more resilient. The other thing that it's shown to do is that it can reduce the uptake of salinity, and it can increase the drought tolerance of a plant. And those are two things that are huge in the world right now. We have a lot of areas that are experiencing drought, and if we can address even a portion of this with bamboo, it's a really important thing to look at. And something, again, that can be done with just your backyard, one plant that you have, or the plant that is down the street from you that you can get access to, because there's so many leaves on these, and it doesn't take much to make this kind of tea and then feed it back to your plants. And then finally, I like to talk about companion planting. We did talk about a little bit about this in the World Bamboo Day. In Brazil, they're doing a lot of agroforestry programs, and there's a lot of different names that are being talked about, but essentially you have agroforestry, syntropic farming, permaculture. These are all systems that are planting with other plants and creating that biodiversity that is feeding back into the soil, because in nature, diversity is stability. And going in the direction of monocrops is not what we want to do. We do want to make it so that when we farm bamboo, it's accessible and it makes sense as to how we do it, but we can companion a plant with so many different plants in there, depending on how far along the age of the plants are. And this is, again, medicine back for the soil, medicine for the earth. And that's really important. This is a picture of bamboo tea. So still my favorite. I love that one. And when we talk about using bamboo and teas and things like that, it's always great to use it in conjunction with other things. And in fact, in the history of using bamboo as far as a medicine, it's always been used in formulation, meaning that it's partnered with other herbs and other medicinal valued plants, because it's a binder and it binds nutrients and it binds herbal processes so that it makes it more bioavailable. And this happens in the soil too, like all this leaf litter that you see here, that's all silica going back into the earth, and then that silica is helping to bind nutrients to make it more bioavailable to the other plants around it. And it does the same thing when it's in the tea. And then this is, if anybody has any further questions, this is all my contact information, Facebook, Instagram, website. And I really just want to say thank you so much for having me and for being a part of this amazing platform. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Santi. Thank you so much. And I hope there may be some questions later on if you're around. Otherwise, it's okay for you. It's too late. And good night. Yeah.
Let's see. Stop sharing.
Yeah, can I have the next speaker, Dr. Jairas. And Dr. Jairas is a senior scientist in the Division of Forest Ecology and Biodiversity Conservation in the Kerala Forest Research Institute, Pechi, in Thrissur, Kerala. He's been working very closely with Dr. Biswanath, who is the director of KFRI, and he'll be presenting on bamboo shoots. Dr. Jairas, please.
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Kamesh, for a nice introduction, and thanks to Dr. Jack also for giving me an opportunity to be here to present this few ideas on the bamboo shoots. So is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very good morning and good afternoon to all of you over here. And I'll be talking some aspects on the nutritional potential of bamboo shoot products. So, because the bamboo shoot need not be introduced to this forum again, because I think all the participants are well aware of the bamboo shoot, the bamboo and its applications, and the potential demands. As we are well aware that there are a number of demands for bamboo shoots, and what we are trying to promote over here is the bamboo shoots to the modern food industry. In the previous talk by Ms. Shanti, we have seen that how well it can be used in the nutritional aspects. Here I will be elaborating a bit more on the bamboo shoots. Yeah, coming to the commercial potential of bamboo products, as data by INBAR in 2017, on the global export scenario, the 19% of it is occupied by the bamboo shoots in the global export scenario. In addition to all other things, that the bamboo shoot occupies 19% of the world exports of bamboo and other products. So from this itself, we can understand that how important it is in the global scenario. And why to have bamboo shoots in diet? So it fulfills energy needs, the macronutrients, and it has micronutrients and antioxidants. Then it has a reduced risk of diabetes and BP, and safe to consume. It contains low contaminants and potentially harmful pollutants, and the high fiber content. High fiber content is one of the major aspects which come along with the bamboo shoots. And the safe to consume, I have a quote unquote by Ms. Shanti earlier that she had mentioned that where it's grown, that's an important factor to be considered in case of bamboo. And these are the major aspects why we need to consider the bamboo shoots as a major component of the diet. So coming to the commercial potential, so the economic value of bamboo shoots is, and its edible content varies from 14 to 45%, depends on species available. I'll be showing you data that we have generated on different species in our region. And so since the content varies from 14 to 45%, the economic value also varies accordingly. And if you consider the global market, it's around $1,700 million US. And the global bamboo market size is valued at US dollar of $68.8 billion in 2018, and the shoot industry occupies around 14%. So from all these values, we get an exact idea that how big the industry is and how we are looking forward to for its development and innovation. And the increase in the canned bamboo shoot industry has gone up 1.7 times in a decade. Means that 194 million in 2009 to 323 million in 2017. Less than a decade it has grown. And China is one of the largest producer of bamboo, approximately 4 million tons of bamboo shoots alone. And the value is around 2.2 billion in 2018. And as a food source, bamboo shoots are delicious and rich in nutrients, and rank them as the fifth most popular healthcare products in the world. And it's explicitly used in the traditional Southeast Asian cuisine for many centuries. And it is there in use in many parts of this kind of world, and in other parts it's growing more attention. In worldwide, more than 2 million tons of bamboo shoots are consumed annually. And among 1,350 species recorded, almost 100 species are grown or utilized for its shoots. So I think less than 10% of the recorded bamboos are in use as bamboo for the shoot collection purposes. And India is the second largest producer of the bamboo shoots, and mostly in northeastern part of the country, like mostly it is consumed and cultivated, which is a part of their routine lifestyle. And mainly bambusa and bambusa sectors are used in this part of the country, like central India as well as the southern part of India, some in the peninsular region, some specific bamboo species are being used. And the nutrition composition and the high HCN content. The cyanide content is one of the anti-nutrition factor which it has a myth over the potential problem which associated with bamboo shoot. And we found that there is a difference in the HCN content as well as the nutritional composition along with the various agroecological conditions. And coming to a comparison with the conventional vegetable and other bamboo shoots, that you can see the fiber content. Fiber content is as high in bamboo as even said earlier also. And it has got less carbohydrates, and the protein content seems to be same in both, and the mineral obviously high and fat is less. So all these values gives exactly a clear picture that bamboo shoots can always be considered as a good food material. And the nutrition value, if you go to nutrition value, and since being a seasonal food, we need to preserve it and store it for a long time. And how does it differ? So here we have a clear-cut picture on how the fresh and the fermented shoots are differing. And there is a difference in protein. The fresh shoots are always high values compared to the fermented ones, like proteins, amino acids, then carbohydrates, and coming to mineral, the sodium and calcium seems to be high in the fresh shoots compared to the fermented ones. And coming to the other nutrition part, see the vitamins, almost all the vitamin E, C, and vitamin thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin A, vitamin B1, B3. It is different at different levels, and it has been well evaluated in different species also. And coming to the mineral levels, the chromium, zinc, manganese, magnesium, nickel, cobalt, copper are sufficiently found in almost all the bamboo species. And coming to the health benefits, like the nutrient dietary fiber, it contains 9% carbohydrate proteins, and there has been scientific records that it aids in weight loss, reduces the risk of cancer, strengthens the immune system, rich in anti-inflammatory properties. Yeah, we have seen from Dr. Q that how the anti-inflammatory is happening, and helps improve the cardiovascular health and effective against respiratory diseases, and provides relief from stomach ailments, and useful in curing snake and basically poisoning this thing, and beneficial for controlling cholesterol levels. So these are some of the well-evaluated health benefits of bamboo shoots. And as nutraceuticals, it has been found to prevent cancer, and there are a number of anti-cancer agents that are found to be present in this bamboo shoots, and obviously it is low in sugar. As I said earlier, the carbohydrate levels are quite low compared to other vegetables. So it can be used in sugar-restricted diets. Then the presence of anti-carcinogenic agents makes it more attractive. And free radical scavenging is one of the major activities which happens with the molecules present in the shoots. And coming to the Indian scenario, as I said earlier, the shoots are consumed widely in Northeast India and some parts of the Karnataka and the Central India also. The major species used in this region are Bambusa pallida, Bambusa tulda, Polymorpha, Balcova, Dendrocalamus hamiltoniani, Gigantius, Grandacea, etc. And it's a part of local cousins in Northeast India. But though it's not a part of the local cousins in the other part of the country, but in Northeast India it is widely used and consumed. And this is data we have generated from southern western Ghats of the region, like different extractable volumes. Like it varies. The extractable volume of bamboo shoot varies from species to species. And we found that Dendrocalamus giganteus strictus.
Yes, agreed. I'm sending this number to you. Just speak to you.
Yeah, the high extractable volume even up to 70%, followed by Bambusa vulgaris and Balcova. And Dendrocalamus grandacea also has a similar extractable volume of bamboo shoot. And the other major concern which comes along with the bamboo shoots is the presence of cyanogen levels. And we found that the cyanogen levels vary with the agroecological conditions. And when a comparison is done between the humid tropics and semi-arid conditions, that we found that the cyanide levels are found to be high in semi-arid condition, maybe a kind of stress in the system, the agroecological system, which creates more cyanide production, supposed to be. And in that itself, Dendrocalamus strictus is found to have the maximum cyanogen content, like 2,400 ppm.
No problem. Okay.
And coming to the value addition, though since being a product very seasonally available, we need to consume. It then, or we need to store it otherwise.
I will just speak on the value chain and challenges.
There's a growing demand for processed and packaged bamboo shoots in the national and international markets. And shelf life, we have found that it varies from 9 to 23 days.
I've just sent you now. I've just sent you.
Yeah, during storage, a bitter taste develops in the bamboo shoots, and if it's exposed for stored for a longer period of time. And we found that even when it's stored in plastic bags, there are some kind of contamination which happens. So we need to improve upon all these aspects. And it contains carbohydrate, proteins, minerals, and can be expected as a part of healthy diet in fresh canned or fermented forms. So we need to have systematic ways of having all these kind of different types of shoots which are available, like fresh shoots, then canned shoots, or fermented forms. And whether as a accompanying vegetable or as a major ingredient, we need to develop different recipes and popularize it among the population so that more usage can be done. So it could be used as dried, marinated, or saturated, and can form powders, nuggets, or even as medicines. So we have been hearing about it. So the need of the hour is to develop process technologies to preserve the bamboo shoots in consistent and imperishable forms. Because maybe in many parts of the country that it is available very seasonally. And so we need to preserve it. So we need to have the technologies to preserve it and to keep it for longer times. And once you take it, the idea that from farmer to consumer, it takes a long way. So we need to adopt innovative methods in each step to have a better understanding or better development of this particular sector. And there are diversified products which are already there in basket. There are bamboo biscuits. It is mainly coming from Southeast Asian countries. It's well available. In Taiwan and all, it's well available. And ready to cook products, then there are pickles available on different aspects. And what are the problems which basically we face, like widespread myth, like bamboo shoots are poisonous? This could be because of the HCN content, which can be well removed using the available technologies, and the presence of anti-nutritional elements, and the lack of awareness of edible characteristics and its nutrition potential. And that is a major concern which put this particular shoot in the backstep. The lack of availability of edible shoots, that's the seasonal availability. Restriction of harvest from forests and selling it in open market, which is there in some part of in India. It's like lack of information on choice of edible species, the lack of processing methods, and a high economic value of a fully grown plum, then storage problems, and in many parts of the world, it's not a part of traditional cuisine. So we need to have methods to put it in as a part of traditional cuisines. And coming to the prospects, the value addition of bamboo shoots products like concentrate dry powders or freeze-dried powders, or diversification of product range to cookies, candies, ice creams, ready-to-eat foods or cakes, and popularization in local recipes, which is essentially required to increase the use of this bamboo shoot. Then awareness creation, key for the better acceptability. The bamboo plantations or edible shoot extraction, economically viable business venture model need to be developed. And these are the key takeaway points from the presentation. And thank you once again. Thank you to Kamesh, Dr. Kamesh and Dr. Jack for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deras.
Yes.
I think it was an excellent presentation. I think everyone has benefited. So I would like to call the next speaker from Thailand. Is Kompit Untha Rongsit. He's the Vice President of Thai Timber Association, and he's been working for a lot of innovative products with bamboo and timber. And Thailand is one country which is rich with tourism and all. They have been developing many products. Moreover, he's the Managing Director of Price of Wood Industry and Charlotte. And he does drum building, wood villa, bamboo roofing, many other innovative things. So I'd like to call upon Kun Kompit to give his speech. Please.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Kamesh Slam and Mr. Sakun for inviting me to join this webinar. This is my first time. And let me briefly introduce myself and my companies. My name is Kompit. I'm the Managing Director of the Price of Wood Industry, brand Charlie. Our vision is to create a sustainable environment, create a new wood supply chain in Thailand, and also they create green jobs for aging society. So our philosophy is to help create a healthy ecosystem and sustainable growth for the communities. So today my topic I got from Kamesh Salam is to present you about the bamboo innovation in Thailand. Actually, I would like to call it simple bamboo innovation. It's very simple method and simple technologies. We call it bamboo thatch roof. The project began 3 years ago when I was invited as a Vice President of Thai Timber Association, speaking about the reforestation throughout Thailand. So in front of the 300 NGOs in the northern Thailand. So that's why I know Macham district in Chiang Mai. As you see from the photo, the Macham district, the people living there are tribal peoples, living their life by growing corn crops. And they grow the corn crops about 100 acres, and it affects lots of deforestation. Every summers in Thailand from March to April, after harvesting their corn crops, they burn the corn residues and create haze and smoke cover Chiang Mai as a tourism in Thailand. That's why I met with Mr. Desho, who is the leader of the Sustainable Development Foundation in the north of Thailand, to reforest the Macham area back to the 15 years ago, where Macham have lots of teak and variable wood species. So in Macham, during the dry season, is very drought. So we choose the bamboo as a pioneer plant to bring back the water, and then we will planting the variable species later on. The important thing is that the Macham is 26% headwater of Chao Phraya River in Bangkok, and now it's a drought, and Thailand will face the drought in the long term. So Mr. Desho, the leader of the Northern Sustainable Development Foundation, they want to rehabilitate Macham back to last 50 years as a wood town. So they create Macham Model Plus programs. For the first years, we do a lot of seminars promoting planting bamboo for the tribe peoples. But the progress of the planting bamboo in the tribal people in the Macham is very slow, because they always ask what benefits will Macham people get from planting bamboo, and what do they sell their bamboo, where's the market? That is the most difficult question. So I sat down with Mr. Desho thinking about we should create some new products and simple products that can use simple ideas. We have a simple people, we have a simple machine, because over there they have no money for investment in the big machines and to compete with China, we should have a simple method. So one thing come up in my mind is that we decide to do bamboo roofing. So big bamboo have a high tensile, so it's not easily to tear it out, but it's easily to decay, so we treat it. We can use this bamboo thatch roof to replace the natural thatch roof, which is made from grasses, and we can export worldwide, especially in Maldives, in Fiji, in Seychelles, and it's very cost-effective solution because it can last more than 25 years compared to the grass, which is you have to change it every 3 to 5 years. So this ratio is the one on the right-hand side. It's very active person. They group together 17 community enterprise, create a social enterprise. Is a profitable company. So I have a hard time to convince the NGO to do the profit companies. I said that if this social enterprise make a profit, then we use the profit return back to the forest, and they agree, and they start setting up they renting a small factory. We call it a forest factory, the factory that create the forest. So for the profit that made from the factory, 100% will return to the create sustainable forest and ecosystem in Mejam. And then after we planting bamboo, and in future we can planting valuable wood species. So we start investing in a very small, simple machines made from Thailand, like spreading bamboo. We start buying local bamboo species that already grown there. So we do in this factory, we do the splitting of the bamboo, thinning it to a small piece, and distribute it to the aging peoples so that they can do the bamboo weaving at their house. And they are so happy. We give them 15 bahts a piece, and they're so happy. And then after they finish the weaving, they send back to the factory, and the factory collect it and deliver to my companies in Bangkok. So this is a bamboo roofing. And then we kiln dry it, and we do the impregnations with the green guard chemical. We put the micronized copper azoles into it, and then we re-dye again. So this is all the products. It's a simple product. I think the benefit of this product is that it's cooler. As you know, the K value of the wood is a 0.14. It's a very high tensile. Bamboo is very good in high tensile, but it's easily to decay. If it ever treated, we can use for last more than 25 years, and it's very environmentally friendly, have a natural feelings, and it's in Maldives they have no we after use it, so it's not, they have no we call it the factory to get it off the waste, right? So this bamboo is very suitable for the island. It's because it has zero waste, and we use only 2 years bamboo, and it's very inexpensive compared to the synthetic HDPE thatch roof, and cost effective compared to the gas thatch roof. Well, my slide is already hanged. Let me check. Okay, so after we finish it, and we already install in many projects in Thailand, like that. So this is the customer in Buriram. They do the wellness sala. So it looks very natural. So one thing, I visited the site last 2 weeks after finishing it. So one thing I found that with the bamboo thatch roof, they have no bird picking and pecking for their nest, because bamboo is very high tensile. It's very difficult for the bird to destroy the bamboo thatch roof. So usually for the natural thatch roof, they decay after 3 years and then blow away by the strong wind. With the high tensile of the bamboo thatch roof, they can stand very high strong wind in the Iceland like Maldives. So as you see from the photo, it's very cost-effective solutions. So this is the photo that we install. And this is the project the architect chose to use the bamboo thatch roof in Phangan Islands in the south of Thailand. So after we set up the small factory there are so many people now starting planting a bamboo in Mechems because they know that there's a market there. So they are so happy also, and we can also help the local communities to have new jobs. And then so this factory now they start the second factory now already 1 hour away from the existing plant. So that's it. So this is a simple bamboo innovations. Yes, thank you, Salam. Mr. Kamesh.
Thank you so much, and it's been very excellent product. Excellent. And I think you are doing a very good job for the livelihood of the people using a simple product but very innovative product. And we hope to visit you sometime and see the project as well.
Thank you, sir.
So before we have the question answer, I would like to call Mr. Amit Rai, Dr. Amit Rai, who is presently working as mentor and advisor in Startup Incubator Center and Chief Advisor and Board of Governor at DJMT IT Anand, Gujarat, as a Director of the Global Business Development also. So I call upon Mr. Amit Rai to just give his concluding remark, then we'll open for question and answer.
Okay, thank you to all the speakers and participants for sparing their valuable time and contributing during this webinar. We have heard a lot of lectures about biomedical sciences of the bamboo, application of bamboo in various like food application in medicine for critical diseases, also for a tea application. And all the lectures were very, very useful for us for enhance our knowledge and to know more about the bamboo application. What I would like to say from India and DJMIT point of view, that we know that we are growing bamboo in different parts of the world, and 30% of the bamboo we grow is coming from the India. Still, we are unable to meet the growing demand of bamboo in India, which is 27 million ton per year, I believe. And only 50% we are able to, you can say, meet from the Indian production. So there is always a possibility to develop the farmer community in India, and for there is a application and there is a possibility to join hand with national international organization, and with all this you can say renowned expert and their long you can say experience in this area, there is a possibility of setting up a small center under DJMIT where we could demonstrate this technology in various forms. We have very close connection with various technical groups, various industrial chambers in Gujarat, with whom we can work jointly inside the Gujarat and also in the nearby state. Like we have experienced a very severe earthquake in Bhuj and Kutch area in 2001, where there is a loss of life and property, and bamboo application in various forms like farming and housing and other things could be a very, very useful tool for these kind of areas. Right now, only 3% of bamboo we are growing in Gujarat, and then too on the peripheral of the farmlands where people are farming other, you can say, species. So there is a possibility of adopting more species in Gujarat through the cooperation of Taiwan and India and other counterparts, and there is always a possibility of moving ahead in a useful direction. With us today, we have another expert who worked with SEFT in various capacity, Mr. Bipin Shah, and he is sitting with us from USA and listening to all our this conversation. He is a well-wisher of DJMIT and he is a housing technology expert. I would like him also to say few sentences that how we could expand our cooperation with different countries and what are the possibilities which are ahead. With your permission, Kamesh ji.
We need to open for question and answer actually.
Okay, sure. So we can take up the question answer session from here. And please.
Yeah, Dr. Jack, I think we are open for question and answer. If there's anyone who wants to raise questions or something is allowed to speak.
Yes. We are welcome all to ask questions.
Yeah. Anyone? Any questions to the speakers?
Yeah,
Please.
this is Mr. Shah. It's pretty late here in the US right now, but hopefully I was very excited to actually listen to all the information you had, especially the last presentation regarding buildings, because that's my foray. And I'm actually an advisor to the US Department of Energy for the building technologies. And passive housing is becoming a very important criteria now in the US, and they are promoting that worldwide. So we have actually tied up with the GMIT to actually do a project on smart village, where we are actually looking into making sure that all the passive houses are there. So looking into what you guys talked about, it will be really interesting to see how we can synergize the technologies that we have in the US. And what I just heard from Dr. Jack, that they are making actually thatch roofs and everything. Example is that we make the technology of cool paints, which are basically solar reflective. So if we are able to make shades, external shades on the windows, or be able to kind of make those kind of products which will reflect the sun in the hotter climate, then those are the products that will actually make very big market in the area, because external shades are becoming the way of life even in the US right now. So especially if it is 25 years old, it can resist things till 25 years, and if it is durable, that is something that we need to look at. And the one thing that I want to ask is, when you treat the bamboo thatch roof, are they fire resistant? That's one of my questions to that. But I think there is a lot of possibilities of making things work, and I would like to continue to work with Dr. Amit Rai to see if we can explore those possibilities by making some pilot projects out there in the GMIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bipin. And Mr. Kombit,
Yes, sir.
can you give some light on the fire retardant issues?
Actually, we can treat it, the fire retardant into the bamboo together with the chemicals.
Okay.
So it can be done, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So it's about the,
Any other questions we have? So I think, Dr. Jack, you can propose a vote of thanks and we can close. It is already 12:30 now. We are just on time.
Yes, thank you, Kamash. Thank you all of you to the wonderful speech. Then let us know more about different countries that we are facing the problems and how we using the bamboo try to take care of our environment. And the next forum will be in the 18th May, and we invite all of you to attend for our Taiwan India Bamboo Tech Forum again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to all. Thank you especially to all our speakers who have enlightened today. And in fact, we have made more bamboo connections, a bigger bamboo family we look at. And in fact, this year is unfortunate that the World Bamboo Congress could not be held in Taiwan. But however, we feel that in the near future, Taiwan will be open for the World Bamboo Congress. Maybe that may be opportunity for Dr. Jack's team to host us in Taiwan to see bamboo. Most probably next year it may be in Taiwan. So for this year, I think it has been postponed indefinitely. the World Bamboo Congress that was supposed to be held on 18 September. And we thought that would have been a great opportunity for Indian or all the people to visit Taiwan and also visit the Bamboo Charcoal Center there. But with this COVID, I think travel are being restricted for the time being. And also I'm happy that the World Bamboo Day was born in Thailand, and I would love to host a World Bamboo Day event in Thailand one day, whenever the chance comes. So Pu Kombit, again, I request that with Pu Sapol, we can have the World Bamboo Day again happen in Thailand years to come, and bring all the bamboo family together under one roof. Thank you so much for your kind listening, and thank you to my team in India, Ritesh, and also the next team in the who really work for this webinar today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ramesh. Bye-bye.